In this example, we're going to write and solve a linear system to determine the unknown numbers. So what we have here is a couple of sentences that describe the relationships that these two numbers have with one another. So let's go ahead and read these. We'll define a couple of variables and write and solve a system. So the difference of twice the first number and 3 times the second number is -2. Also, the first number increased by 10 is 5 more than twice the second number. Okay, so when I read these, I noticed I have something, the first number, and then I have the second number. So let's go ahead and do variable definitions. So we'll say x equals the first number, and then maybe y equals the second number. Okay? So based on this now, we can write a couple of equations. So the difference of twice the first number, so twice the first number is x. And we're talking about difference, so we're going to subtract. And 3 times the second number, so 3 times the second number, which is y. And that difference is going to be -2. Okay? Also, the first number increased by 10. So the first number increased by 10, so we're going to add 10 to it. Is 5 more than twice the second number. So we have twice the second number, and then we add 5 to that because it's 5 more than twice the second number. Okay, so here's a nice system. So there's a couple of ways I could solve this. Let's go ahead and I noticed that in the second equation, the coefficient of my x is just a 1. So let's go ahead and solve for x and then use substitution. So x equals 2y. Looks like -5, because when I subtract 10 from both sides, 5 minus 10 will be -5. So I know this expression, 2y minus 5, is equivalent to x. So I'm going to take that 2y minus 5 expression, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it into x, but in the other equation. And again, in that way, we're going to combine these two equations together in an effort to solve this system. So 2x minus 3y equals -2. So 2x, and we're going to plug in this expression for x, minus 3y equals -2. So now it's just a matter of solving this equation for y. So the distributive property right here, and then I'll combine like terms and say y minus 10 equals -2. So when I add 10 to both sides, my value of y is going to be 8. And now that I know the value for one of the variables, let's go ahead and plug it right back in. So x equals 2y minus 5, which means x equals twice the y value, which is 8. So 16 minus 5 will be 11. So now I've gone through, I defined my variables, I wrote my system, and now I've solved my system. So my two values look like they're going to be, let's see, 11 and 8. So I could write a sentence, the two numbers are 11 and 8. Okay, so that would be the solution to this system question that's talking about the relationship between these two numbers.